We're here with Coach Coen.
We are joined today by Northeastern head basketball coach Bill Coen.
Last but certainly not least, Bill Coen.
With the head coach of the Northeastern Huskies, Bill Coen.
You're going to have a chance to tie Jim Calhoun for Northeastern's all-time wins record.
Hey, Coach, I know you've fielded a lot of questions over the last 6 weeks or so about Jim Calhoun, but now that you have this, now that you've gotten to that point, how does it feel? Does it feel any different to you when that buzzer sounded and you had it?
You know, it meant more to me that we're moving on and we're still playing in the best month of the year if you're a college basketball fan. You know, it meant more to me that these guys were willing to play and show that type of heart and resiliency.
This was an achievement 15 years in the making. Why not take the credit?
It's just never really been his style. I mean, look.
I wouldn't dare put myself in the same category as Jim Calhoun.
I wouldn't dare compare myself to Coach Calhoun. I would never dare to compare myself to Coach Calhoun.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare compare myself to Jim Calhoun.
I don't know if I buy it. I'm calling Brian. Is Coach Coen really
an extremely humble coach?
Yeah. How did you know I was going to?
Everybody around the program, you know, assistant coaches, players, we all were very aware of, you know, 251, and everybody wanted to get that for Coach Coen. Coach Coen, on the other hand, that was probably the last thing he was thinking about. And he'll deflect any type of credit at any opportunity. He's the last one to ever want to, you know, talk about himself.
Awesome. Thanks for the help. He thinks highly of Coach Coen.
He's been there since the very beginning. He joined the team as a walk-on in 06 when Coen, after
9 years over at Boston College,
was filling out his first roster as a head coach.
He found arguably his best recruit right off the bat, too.
He did.
He told us where to go, what to go look at, took us around a little bit, you know, showed us campus. And at that point, I had seen enough. Like, I fell in love with the city. But, you know, I think having my dad there and him meeting Coach Coen, I think that was kind of like the ultimate okay for me to go from Minnesota to Boston to go to college, and having, you know, being so far away was them knowing that I was with Coach Coen. So it was more like kind of a father figure away from home, to be honest. And that's exactly what he was for 4 years.
Wow. Century of Northeastern basketball, and Matty Jennings scored more points than all but 3 Huskies after being
pretty lightly recruited out of high school.
Makes sense. He's
very good at identifying talent, you know, which is probably been talked about a lot. That's really, really true. I think he's very good at seeing where someone can be, you know, in 2 or 3 years. You know, he just kind of has this puzzle piece mind where it all fits together.
You know, a lot of coaches love to upsell you and tell you they'll make you this, make you that, just to try to get you on campus. But I think it was just refreshing to have an honest, you know, recruiting process with Coach.
The things that he told me were just things that I need to hear on my development, on my growth, on how he sees me, on how he sees me in the future, on how I can help the team now, and then what I can do for the program and as a whole. So just him being raw and keeping it real with me from the beginning. I think that's the biggest thing that attracted me. And I remember till this day, I told my mom, like, yes, this is where I need to be.
Funny thing is, he helped him break through as much as anyone. He scored 22 points in the CAA championship game against William and Mary. They'll tell you that. You know,
winning that first championship was really, really special. You know, I think we'd been on the cusp, you know, quite a few times. So to finally break through in 2015, you know, that was, you know, definitely
not just that one night. So, you know, you beat Michigan State, you had a really good day. But when you win the championship, like we did in 19 or in 15, that's a program achievement, and everybody shares in that. The next step would be to win another championship and win a game in the NCAA tournament, or advance in the NCAA tournament, not to put a one-game limit on it. You see how magical it is, and you see the Oral Roberts, and you see, you know, some of these upsets, and you're saying it can be done. You know, why not us?
You think he'll get another try at the Big Dance?
Yeah, I think he will. We're talking about a guy who's been consistently successful enough that he's entering year 16 at the same school. Average coach in his conference is going into year 5. Might explain the connections he fosters.
How do you mean?
Heads up.
he likes to build. He's not someone that goes somewhere every 2 years, or takes recruits with him. And
ask anybody the impact that Coach Coen imprinted on them when they were there and when they left. Like, it's incredible. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment out of all of them is how you treat people. How do people feel when they're around you?
That's what stands out to me the most is how much like he really cared about me personally, and obviously all of us players.
He wants to do things the right way. He really values relationships. He values kind of character-based, qualities in a program and in the people. And
the fact that I graduated, 4 or 5 years ago, and I can call him right now, and everything will be all good. I can call any of those guys, and everything will be perfectly fine.
Never put your head down all summer. Never put your head down all summer. I missed you out there. I told you.
Oh man, you're awesome. Boy. I love you, man.
I love you.
If you asked 100 coaches in the profession about him, you'd get 100 great guys, and that's really hard to do, in a competitive fashion like college coaching. But it's 100% true.
Coaches are constantly calling you, and they love to see who you were getting recruited by. And I think it was always like, they ask what school, and then you give them that school, and they'll throw some dirt, some blatant, some like offhand, backhanded comments. But every time you bring up like Coach Coen, they constantly, they either couldn't say a bad thing about him or they had to compliment him. And I thought if someone's in competition with you and all they can do is give you a compliment, that says a lot.
And that will do it. The Northeastern Huskies are moving on to the semifinal round, and Bill Coen etches his name into the Northeastern annals. He is the winningest coach in the century-old history of this program, passing the Hall of Famer Jim Calhoun with his 251st win.